The first sign something was wrong wasn't dramatic at all. It was quiet, too quiet. I walked my property line like I usually did on a Sunday morning, coffee in hand, enjoying the cool air and the sound of birds instead of traffic. That's when I noticed that my eastern boundary marker was gone. Not bent, not damaged. Gone, clean out of the ground like it had never existed. I frowned, set my coffee down, and walked farther. The corner pin near the oak tree had been moved at least 3 feet inward. Perfectly upright, neatly placed, almost professional looking if you didn't know better. That's when I felt it in my chest. Someone hadn't made a mistake. Someone had made a decision. 2 days later, the HOA Karen made herself known. She knocked like she owned the door. Crisp blouse, oversized sunglasses, clipboard pressed against her chest like a badge of authority. She didn't introduce herself. She didn't need to. I'd seen her storm around the neighborhood before, always measuring something, always telling someone they were out of compliance. She said, "We had the property lines adjusted to match the community plan. Your fence was encroaching." I almost laughed. Almost instead, I asked her who he was. She puffed up and informed me she was head of the Architectural and Land Use Committee for the HOA. Apparently, my corner of land interfered with a future walking trail, so they'd realign the markers. That was the moment I stopped being polite. I told her calmly that property markers are set by county authority and moving them is illegal. She waved her hand like I'd mentioned bad weather. "Our HOA consultant said it's fine," she said. "The community voted." That's when I looked her dead in the eye and said, "Interesting. Because I'm the county surveyor." For half a second, her expression flickered. Then she recovered and laughed, loud and sharp. "That's funny," she said. "You should really stop lying." I didn't argue. I didn't explain. I just nodded and said, "I'll be in touch." Over the next week, more letters showed up. Violation notices. A fine for encroachment. A demand to remove part of my fence. One letter even warned of legal action if I didn't comply within 10 days. All based on boundary markers the HOA had no authority to move. Neighbors started avoiding me. A couple quietly asked what was going on. I told them the truth and advised them to check their own markers. Then I went to work. I've been a county surveyor for over 30 years. I know the records. I know the error bills. I know how to trace a line back through decades of subdivision changes and easements. I pulled the original plat maps, stamped and filed. I pulled the resurvey done when the HOA was first formed. I pulled the GPS coordinates down to fractions of an inch, and I pulled the report every surveyor fears seeing someone misuse. On Thursday morning, I set up my tripod on my lawn. Bright vest, county insignia, official equipment. Karen came marching across the street like a bull, seeing red. She started shouting before she reached me, demanding to know why I was intimidating residents. I didn't raise my voice. I handed her a notice, official county sealed. It stated that multiple property boundary markers in the HOA had been illegally moved, constituting tampering with survey monuments a misdemeanor offense. It also stated that a full resurvey of the affected lots would be conducted at HOA expense. Her face went pale. She tried to argue. She said the consultant approved it. She said the homeowners wanted it. She said it was just stakes in the ground. That's when I reminded her those stakes defined legal property boundaries and that moving them could invalidate deeds, mortgages, and title insurance. By Friday, the HOA board was in panic mode. Emergency meeting. Lawyers involved. Turns out the walking trail they planned would have crossed not just my land, but 3 other properties as well. All because someone thought authority came from a clipboard instead of the law. The real payoff came 2 weeks later. The county finished the resurvey. Every original marker was restored to its exact legal position. Homeowners received corrected plats. The HOA was fined. The consultant quietly disappeared, and Karen, she resigned for personal reasons after the board learned she deordered the markers moved without any legal authorization. The walking trail was canceled. My fence stayed right where it was, and a few neighbors stopped by afterward, shaking my hand, thanking me for standing up before things got worse. Now, when I walk my property in the morning, everything is exactly where it belongs. Lines aren't just lines on paper, they're rights. And rights don't move just because someone wants more space. If you enjoyed this story and appreciate real-life justice, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us keep sharing these stories. And tell me in the comments, where are you watching from today?